Alrighty, hopefully this one works. Sorry to all of you that were watching my previous video. I got all the way through before I realized my phone doesn't work. The microphone on it doesn't work, and hasn't worked for the last couple of days, and I completely forgot. So apologies, it's 7 o'clock on a Monday, and I just spaced on that one. Hey Dan, how you going? Let me know if you can hear it or not. If you can't hear me, just let me know. So anyway, to sort of recap on everything I tried to talk about before that none of you could hear, the big three. These are three real simple things that I think everyone can usually improve on to help their performance as well as aid in their recovery or help prevent injury. Now, I'm not an expert in any of these things. They're just real simple guidelines for you guys to follow, and if you want to delve deeper into it, you can see health professionals or experts in those respective fields, or you can come and talk to us about it and we can help guide you with some research. All right, thanks Dan, thank you. Yeah, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was water. So how much do you drink? How do you know if you're drinking enough? How it affects your performance? I just came across this study from the Journal of Applied Physiology that was talking about dehydration in the amount of 2% of body weight or more. So if you lose up to 2% of your body weight due to water or more, it will hinder your performance, your hydration, your cardiovascular function, and your VO2 max. So those of you that are runners, or if you've ever done the beep test, which is a really good field test for your VO2, it's really important that you drink enough water. So the 2% body mass is quite significant. If you I weigh 65 kilos, so for me that'd be about 1.2 kilos. So if I start a running event at 65 kilos and I finish the running event anything less than 63.8 kilos, I've probably lost most of that in water, and most of that would be I'd be borderline dehydrated. So if I was to run any beyond that, I would be borderline impaired performance, impaired cardiac function, and all that sort of stuff. And that's usually the main sort of symptoms that you get with your dehydration for running or your performance, is making sure that your heart pumps properly. So your heart needs water, your blood needs water, so drink plenty of it. Guidelines, 3 to 4 litres a day. Real simple way of telling. If you're waking up first thing in the morning and your pee is dark, like a dark yellow, you haven't drunk enough water the previous day, and can take anywhere between 3 to 14 days to fully rehydrate. So it's not just if you drink enough water in one day, you magically undo all the dehydration you've done the weeks or months leading up to that. You really need to make sure that you're drinking enough regularly. So really good way of monitoring this is color of your pee first thing in the morning. Just a simple subjective assessment. Is it really dark? Is it kind of dark? Is it really clear? If it's really clear, you're doing quite well. The other way of doing it is also weighing yourself first thing in the morning. Now, body weight fluctuations more than 1 to 2% of your total body weight. So again, using me, if I'm 65 kilos, if my body weight is fluctuating by more than 650 grams per day, I haven't replenished enough water throughout the day. Now, that's not all going to be body fat. Like a lot of people might be like, oh, I've lost 1 kilo in one day. A lot of that's actually probably water, and that's water you need to bring back in. All right, so that's really important. If you want to know how much water to drink during a training session, real simple thing to do: weigh yourself before the training session, weigh yourself after the training session. Whatever you lost plus whatever you drank during that training session is how much you need to drink afterwards. Okay, so example, 65 kilos before I train, I drink 1 litre during my training session, but at the end, I still only weigh 64. I've lost 1 kilo in weight, as well as 1 kilo in that 1 litre of water I drank. That's two litres. That's 2 litres of water I need to drink before I go to sleep that night. All right, otherwise I'll be at some point dehydrated. All right. So very, very important that you play around with that. You will have to go to the bathroom a lot more, but hey, a couple of bathroom trips, extra time to look at your phone and sort of waste time at work. So cool. The other thing would be sleep. Now, any sleep less than on average 7 to 9 hours, depending on how old you are, can impair your cognitive function, can impair your motor performance, can impair your emotional well-being, your mental health, and all of these aspects. Now, it's not uncommon that a lot of my patients come in here, and as soon as I ask them, how much sleep do you get? 9 times out of 10, their first reaction is not enough. So they already know they're not sleeping enough. So fix it. You've got to sleep more. What happens with sleep, we don't really know 100% why we sleep. We just know that we need it. We know they've done tests where they've gotten people, locked them up in rooms for 14 hours in a completely dark room with nothing to do except sleep. And after 2 or 3 weeks of doing that, they all, I think it was like 90% of them, all averaged out to about between 7.5 and 8.5 hours. Now, these were middle-aged adults. I can't remember the name of the paper or something I came across years ago. But yeah, really, really important that you, yes, Elise, I know I need to sleep more, but yes, practice what I preach, not as I do. So really important that you sleep a lot more. So if the short-term effects of sleeping for just 1.5 hours less than what you usually do can severely hinder your performance, and that's typically seen in the grumpiness. So you haven't slept enough, you're quite grumpy, you're quite angry or agitated, or just not cognitively functioning as well as you should. So really, really make sure that you're getting enough sleep. So best way to wind down and get to sleep, 30 minutes before you go to bed, stay away from any screens, keep your phones away from you. I know we use them as alarms, but don't have them next to you, especially not in bed with you. Really not a good thing to have. Hey Colin, how you going? So make sure that you're doing those sort of things. We're just talking about sleep and nutrition and water. So getting on to that last thing, nutrition. We all know we need to eat better. Your fuel is super important, and this even really ties in well to your water and your sleeping patterns. Now, your training it's an interesting thing. Your body responds when we do our training, right? What we're actually doing is we're providing a stimulus to our body. So if we're doing strength, if we're doing running, if you're a synchronized swimmer or a crossfitter or F45, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Your training session is a stimulus. You're stimulating your body. You're telling your body that you want to get better at something. So you stress it. You give it some strength. You give it some running. You give it something that it needs to get better at. Now, your body doesn't respond straight away. It doesn't happen instantly. It doesn't happen in the gym. It doesn't happen in that 20 seconds during that pump when you're doing your bicep curls, or when your heart's breathing and your lungs are breathing all crazy at the end of the run. What actually happens is your body reassesses as your nervous system comes back to normal, your breathing comes back to normal, and when your head hits that pillow when you go to bed, that is when your body goes, okay, let's go into repair mode and let's make sure that we can cope with all that stress and that stimulus that we got put through today. So really need to make sure that your sleeping is really important, and nutrition really feeds into that, because what you're putting into your body really gives your body the available nutrients to repair better than what it was when you did your training session. Now, I'm no expert in nutrition or dietetics, so I can't attest to what you should be eating or how much you should be eating. This is where you should work very closely with nutrition and dietitians. If you find a good one, they can be very, very valuable in helping you reach your goals. But having a good balance of fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, they all play their role. Carbohydrates, fats have copped a pretty bad rap over the last 10, 15 years. They do a lot of important things in our body's general day-to-day maintenance as well as performance. So don't cut them out completely. But again, you need to work with someone in that field that can really help you with your goals as well as your body, because everyone responds differently to different types of food. So if you want to prevent injury, improve your performance, increase your longevity, so live longer and have a better quality of life, make sure you're sleeping a lot, 7 to 8 hours a day, drinking plenty of water, so that pee's got to be clear when you wake up in the morning, and you're eating, right? The 3 basics, but get those 3 right, and you'll have less trips to the doctor, less trips to the physio, and you'll have more time to go out there and play. All right, so if you've got any questions, please chuck them in the comments. Contact us directly. Ring up each clinic or just get in contact with one of us. All right. So guys, have a great week. I hope you guys are staying nice and warm. As you can see, I'm very rugged up and I've had the aircon going all day. So have a good one, and I'll see you next time. See ya.